Welcome dear students to how to fill a lesson plan video. My name is Marta Moreno. I am your English teacher and today I am going to teach you how to fill the lesson plan. First here we have some information in Spanish. Aquí coloque el logo del colegio y de central de información que se encuentra. Here the idea is that you use the school you are going to work with logo to place it. Also here you can dot click and you can change all the information about you. Advisor teacher in this case is my name, Marta Moreno, and in service teacher in this case is your name. And also you have to change the name of the school. Well, the first aspect says in service teacher name. In front you have to write your name. Here let's say week. In schools they used to have 10 weeks of work. Each term or periodo in Spanish has 10 weeks. So the idea is that you choose which week is going to be your class, and if it's the starting process, the middle of the process, or the end of the process in the school or in the institution you are going to work. Class are going to be the name of the graders, first graders, second graders, third graders, high school graders, Centro de Idiomas graders, or whatever. Here English because it's the subject, and also remember you have to create a lesson name. Its name has to be very creative, and please avoid to use grammar topics. For example, verb to be, can, could. Modal verbs are lesson plans that are planned grammarly or with grammar translation method, and this is not nice. So the idea is to create lessons which have names, proper names that make the emphasis in language task, not only in grammar things. Third length is going to be the time, the time you're going to spend doing the lesson, and the current date. Remember, for example, we have here one example, the means of transportation, and in the setting arrangement, you can see more about setting arrangement in the chapter 3 of How to Teach English from Jeremy Harmer, or also in our OVAS course material. Well, the next point is learning outcomes, and the learning outcomes have to be two. The first one is have to be written in English, so you can check in our material, or also in some materials about Bloom taxonomy, how to make proper aims or objectives in English classes lessons. And also you have to paste here one of the estándares curriculares de lengua extranjera, one of them, because they are the legal Colombian policies you have to use in order to plan a class. There are many kinds of lesson types, and they have to a strict relationship with the starting, middle, and ending with process. So sometimes lessons are complete lessons. They are going to be the starting, the middle, and the ending. Some lessons are just assessments, some other lessons are just explanations, so you decide. In lesson procedure, you have to read the chapter 3 and decide if it's an engage, study, and activate method, or if you are going to use PPP method, or even if you have another method in order to organize the procedure of the lesson. In this lesson procedure, you have to take into account that you have to write everything in simple present, no future, not past, because remember, in English grammar, simple present is to give instructions or make descriptions. Probably in Spanish, you use past, simple, future to explain how are you going to make the class. But in English, it's just with present simple. Here in the resources, you have to make a relationship about the resources you are going to use. Remember, in English, you don't say video bin, you say projector, cartolines, paper, markers, book, etc., etc. Keywords are the words the students are going to learn in the class, because remember, English classes are about learning vocabulary, learning some structures or grammatical or language or communication functions, and put them, all of them, into work. Prior requirements has to be about the meaningful teaching or the meaningful learning. sometimes we need some prior requirements. For example, if you are going to work in routines and characteristics of some people, prior requirements probably would be the verb to be, or some strategies or some vocabulary about this. In homework and assignments, sometimes people used to let some assignments or some homework to students in order to reinforce the topics that have been taught in class. Here is inside the class, sometimes that absences is lateness or somebody is in the nursery, so you are going to do it, but this is more or less like class notes that are going to be made in class. Differentiation is very interesting because sometimes in class we have some students that have to be work in a different way to other students because probably they have a attentional deficit, or they are slower than the other ones, or because they are in different English level. So you have to make a differentiation note here in your lesson plan. Here, the idea is that the teacher who is advising you in the school you choose in order to make your small practicums or observations is going to write something. If you give the class, if you don't have the opportunity to give the class, it's just an empty space, so there isn't any problem if you don't fill this space. If you have any questions or hesitations, replay the video many times, or also you can ask your teacher with the communication channels that we have previously talked. Okay, thank you and enjoy the moment to place your ideas in this lesson plan. Bye bye.